Group Discussion Skills 16中四 speaking 大家學咗唔少討論嘅常用句。Let's review some of them. Skill 1. Greet group members, start the discussion, make your point, invite others to join in. 四部曲，打招呼，說明話題，發表論點，邀請加入。Nice to meet everyone here for our discussion. The topic we are going to discuss today is, for me, do you agree? What would be your opinion? Good afternoon, good evening everyone. We are here to discuss a topic on body art and individuality. We have to complete the discussion in 8 minutes. Let's begin the discussion. Let's get started. In my opinion, does any one of you have any similar or other examples, ideas, points, comments? Let's start our discussion on picnic arrangement if everyone is ready. This discussion topic is not new to any one of us here. Our task is to discuss which destination would be ideal for our picnic. My own view is that. Do you think so? Skill 2. How to respond when a member starts the conversation by saying, "Shall we start?" 別人開了頭，自己要作回應，不要沉默。Sure, we have 8 minutes. Go ahead. Skill 3. Initiate the discussion with a question. 用提問法開始討論。Hello everybody. We are here to discuss the topic of privacy. Do the media have too much freedom? What are your opinions? Turn your head to scan through your 3 partners after you ask the question. If nobody responds, immediately give your viewpoints by saying, "As I see it." 有時其他3人不即時回應，不要白等時間過去。Skill 4. What should I do if I don't understand the topic at all? 不明白時，以靜制動。Don't try to initiate the discussion. Be a good listener first. Get the idea of others and then give good response. Well, I'm not sure. I'll have to think it over. 若有人要你發言，你根本不明白當時他們在說什麼，可以用這句。Skill 5. How to participate if I don't know the topic or what other members are talking about. 不懂議題，不懂其他人談什麼，如何參加？ You may rephrase the point of your partners. 用別人的論點，用自己的話說。For example, if a member proposes to regulate tongue piercing, 規管穿舌環 to protect teenagers, you may say, "Yes, regulating tongue piercing is a good idea. We should protect teenagers." Skill 6. Give suggestions. 提意見。I think, I believe, I suppose, I reckon, 估計，猜想。I figure, 估計，認為，that it will bring you greater popularity among your friends. Personally, I believe that. To me. How about this idea? We have our summer camp on Changchao instead. Wouldn't it be a good idea if chose Changchao? Group discussion. Preparation, 10 minutes. Discussion, 8 minutes per group for 4 candidates. Below is a leaflet for adopting an animal at the zoo. Let us read a sample answer on the first half of the discussion. Shall we start the discussion? Yes, sure. We need to decide what to write in our letter to the principal about adopting an animal at the zoo. First, we should consider which animal would be most interesting to students. I'd like to suggest the panda because everybody loves pandas. I agree with you that everyone loves panda, but maybe we should consider an animal that is more unusual. After all, probably lots of schools will want to adopt the panda. I think B has a point. The Javan rhinos are even more endangered than the giant panda. In addition, there are two of them, so they might have babies. That would be very interesting for students. Yes, it would be wonderful if our adopted animals family grew. It seems like we'll really be contributing to conservation. I'm not sure if I agree with you too. Rhinos are not very cuddly animals, and they can be aggressive too. I think we should adopt the orangutan because he's playful. The younger children at our school would find him more interesting than rhinos. But do you believe that only cute animals should be protected, D? Of course I don't believe that, but the question asks us to consider which animal would be more interesting to students. And if you ask me, a mischievous orangutan would be the most interesting. I agree with you that the orangutan is cute, but maybe the rhinos would become more interesting as we learn more about them. I agree with your point. In addition, I'd like to point out that the orangutan lives with his large family, so he's only one animal among many. Whereas if we adopted the rhinos, they would be the only ones at the zoo. Yes, and like C said, they might have babies. Babies' animals are always cute. The younger students would definitely like that. Okay, so we've agreed not to choose the panda. The advantage of the rhinos is that they are among the most endangered animals in the world and they might have babies. And the advantage of the orangutan is that it's cute and playful. I believe the rhinos would be a better choice because it seems they need our help more. I think you are right. Also, if we want to persuade people about conservation, it would be better to have an animal that might have babies. Then we are really helping to increase the numbers. What do you think, Dee? Well, I still think the orangutan is cuter, but I understand that the rhino would be a better choice for our school, as they are more endangered. Okay, so we have agreed to adopt the rhinos then. Shall we move on to discuss the next point? We need to consider the educational activities that the school could be involved in by adopting animals. I definitely think that a rhino calf would be very educational for all the students. Yes, you're right. We could also learn all about why the animals have become endangered, as well as about how we can contribute to conservation work to save the species. Many rhino species are already extinct, you know. Really? How awful! I heard that when the dodo became extinct. Excuse me, I think we are getting off the topic. I think we should continue discussing the educational purposes of adopting an animal. In my opinion, it will be much easier to learn about animal conservation if we have a personal connection to the animal. I think you're right. We can learn about all the problems that our animal encountered in the wild and the different ways to protect it in the future. Yes, and since we'll get newsletters, students can follow the animal's progress and get to know their individual characteristics. Teachers could also assign class projects about the adopted animal. That's a good idea. My only real concern is whether we would ever be able to visit the animal. The South China Zoo is quite far away. Maybe for some students it will seem as if the animal doesn't really exist. That's true. Perhaps we can ask the principal about organizing an annual trip for selected students to visit our adopted pet. Maybe those who have contributed the most to conservation in the school could be chosen. I think that's a great idea. Another good educational benefit would be to learn how to raise money for a good cause. We could suggest in our letter that students organize their own fundraising campaigns at school to pay the monthly payments. I quite like the idea, but what happens if we don't raise enough money? It's quite a commitment. I don't think that will be a problem though, because the leaflet says we only need to make a small monthly payment. So I think we'll be able to raise enough. Everyone at school will need to be involved though. We'll have to be very creative to organize interesting fundraisers so that people keep giving. So are we saying that the educational benefits are that we can learn about conservation and about how to raise the funds ourselves? Yes, that's right. Okay. Shall we discuss how adopting an animal can help with animal conservation? Does anyone have any ideas about that? Well, I think we have mentioned already that it's easier to understand animal conservation if you feel connected to an animal. So, if we adopt an animal from the zoo, we might be able to persuade more students that animal conservation is important. They could see the direct results of their money and work. I agree with you. Also, we could have a page on Facebook for our animal to persuade other people outside the school to help with conservation too. Yes, you're right. Perhaps we could even start our own campaign to encourage other schools to adopt an animal. That would be a really positive thing to do. I think we should include that idea in our letter to the principal. I'm not sure I agree with that. The principal might be worried that students will get too involved with campaigning and forget to study for exams. I see your point. Can anyone think of a way that we can start a campaign without interfering with our schoolwork? How about running the campaign as an extracurricular activity? We could meet once a week to update the news and answer emails. That should control the amount of time people spend on it. Is that because all the classes could work together? Yes, I think normally the classes stay quite separate. But this animal adoption is something we can do as a team. For example, the classes can all take it in turns to organize events to raise money. Maybe we could even put the animal's picture on the cover of the school magazine. That's a nice idea. The animal could be a type of school mascot. Yes, that's right. Does anyone have anything else to add? Yes, I would like to suggest one more thing for our letter. It would be good for the school's image to show that we care about animal conservation. I feel that we could attract more parents to send their children to our school. That's a good point. Also, our campaign would show people that we are an active school and we are involved in our community. Okay, so to sum up, we are going to write a letter to our principal saying that we want to adopt 2 Javan rhinos. This is educational because we'll learn about conservation, especially since they might have a baby. Also, students could organize events to raise funds for the animals. We could set up a Facebook campaign to persuade more people to adopt animals. and we can run this as an extracurricular activity. Good work, everyone. Okay, let's end the discussion there. Now, do the exercise to test yourself. Bye.